I got a problem. I got a strange addiction. Somebody help me. I need an intervention. It ain't alcohol or weed. There's just one thing that I need. I got an addiction to fruit trees. Got an addiction to fruit trees. I take a persimmon to breathe. Hey, the next one I'm getting jujube. Got an addiction to fruit trees.
Oh, y'all thought it was over. You thought it was over. You thought the whole Why I Love My Garden by these men gardeners was over. Nah, bruh. I'm out here watering and I thought about it. Y'all know VA, I crash the party, man. That's what I do. I told you. I'm that fat kid on the playground that will crash your playtime, and I will take your toys and I will break your toys and then run before you can tell my mom, because that's just the type of fat boy I am. VA is that dude that will come to the barbecue. Everybody's outside having a barbecue. VA just come and crash it, and he'll go in the house while everybody's outside. VA is in the house. VA done found a 3-pound pack of ground beef. He done went in the house and made up his own burger patties, and then came outside and then grilled his own burgers after all the food was already made, because that pack of beef was supposed to be for meatloaf. VA done cooked it on the grill and then got the nerve to ask where the buns and the cheese at. Where the buns and the cheese at for these burgers I just went and made? And why I had to be the one to go and make them? Because VA won't invite it. No, I'm joking. Y'all know I'm joking when I say stuff like that. But no, I do want to get into why I love my garden. I'm out here watering in the evening like I'm not supposed to be. And just kind of reflecting on things, man. So, I don't have nothing written down or rehearsed or anything like that. Just kind of touching on why I love my garden. First of all, I love my garden because my garden loves me. Just like your garden loves you. I love my garden because my garden loves me. Now, I'm not saying that love has to be shown to me before I show love to it, but it's like having a relationship with a person, or having a relationship with this spiritual force that is going to treat you fairly and that's going to love you fairly. Like, this is the only place where I can go and put work in and know that the return on my investment is going to be fair. I mean, how many of y'all go to work every day and you feel like, even if you get paid well, you feel like you work so hard, but you just don't get paid what you are worth? I don't feel like that in my garden. Regardless of what goes on, regardless of what successes or failures I may have or setbacks I may have, regardless of what the pests get to and what I am or am not able to get to, I feel like, when I put the work in here in the garden, I get a return according to what I put in. But I feel like my garden loves me because my garden is responsive to me. When I come out here and I talk to my plants and I talk to my soil and I talk to the trees around here, they respond. they respond. And it seems like my garden does better when I am interacting with it than when I'm not. So I feel like it's sort of a beautiful, spiritual, almost magical type of connection that I have with my garden. I also love my garden because it makes me feel like I'm connected to everyone else that's doing this. I'm connected to you all. I feel like I'm connected to people everywhere who, not just the people that I know on YouTube or, Instagram now, but just in general, people who are doing this, people who are connecting to Mother Nature in this way. I feel connected to all of them, all of you. I realize that this garden thing is deeper than it just being you growing food. Like, yeah, that's the idea, that's the goal, that's the focus, but it's the connection to this spirit out here. We call it Mother Nature, some call it Gaia. We call it a lot of different things. Some people call it the feminine aspect of the Spirit of God. But there's a connection here that, we have as gardeners, as farmers, as homesteaders. You have to have that sort of connection in order to be successful. In order to really be successful at what you're doing, you've got to develop that connection. And I feel like I'm developing that. I also feel like, again, going back to it being deeper than just gardening, we're doing more than that. This is, in my opinion, we're kind of, not kind of, but we are working towards a new reality, a whole new reality. Some who, read those books, they call it the hereafter, some call it heaven, some call it the promised land. Some people call it the land of milk and honey. But if you think about it, we're making that. We're making that happen. We're creating that. We may not even realize it, but we're creating it. Just imagine all of us with these gardens with just wonderful fruits and vegetables growing, herbs growing, and we're affecting other people who are doing the same thing. You got some who are growing flowers that are beautiful. We would have a whole new reality within a few years. You know what I mean? So I feel like I'm a part of that. Also, I feel like it helps me to connect to my ancestors as well. I very much feel connected to my ancestors. And I'm not just talking about ancestors on a broad scale. I'm talking about, I have an ancestor. He was my great-grandfather. And he was known for a lot of different things. One of the things he was known for, besides, being a little crazy, is, that brother was a sharecropper. And they say that he was able to make things happen in the garden where he could make anything grow. He could grow anything. I feel connected to him. My great-grandfather, Walter. I feel connected to my ancestors who I knew, and even some who I didn't know, who have passed away. I just feel like they're with me when I'm out in this garden, when I'm enjoying my land, when I'm here just connecting with nature. I feel like I'm also connecting to my ancestors, my roots. And I feel like I'm doing the right thing when I'm out here in this garden. I also feel like my garden helps me to really feel comfortable being myself. We're all different, we're all unique. We all have different journeys, different paths, different realities, that we live through. And just like, we're taught that God is not a respecter of persons, of anybody. At the same time, it's like, he respects our individuality. Nature respects our individuality. Nature is a part of our individuality. nature is a lot of the reason for our individuality. So I feel like I can be me, even when other people don't understand me. I know that nature does. I know that my plants appreciate me. I also feel like I'm working in cooperation with something greater than myself. I'm building something that'll live on even when I'm gone. Me and little camera lady, for example, we have a ball out here. She don't always help me like plant things and stuff like that, but just spending time out here with her when she has the time, there's nothing better than that. And then just knowing that I'm building something, as far as we call it a food forest, I call it independence. I call it freedom. Building that for my family so that when I'm not here, they don't have to really worry about where their meals are coming from. They'll know what to do. So I just love it. I love the lessons that I learn. I love the lessons that I learn about the cycles of life. How deep is composting as far as lesson-wise? Like, what do you learn? When you compost, like, what are you seeing? Are you just composting to make food for your plants, or are you actually really looking at what's going on? You know what I mean? When you're building soil, how do you look at that? I look at that like that's a life lesson for me. Composting, that's a life lesson. Finding ways to feed my plants. Those are life lessons. Using what you have on hand in different ways, that'll benefit the soil. Those are life lessons for me. Putting a seed in the ground and, watering it, giving it water, which is life, in good soil, and watching it develop. Those are life lessons for me. Those are lessons for me. So, I love my garden for many, many different reasons, I can go on and on about it, but I don't want to keep you on here too long while I stand on my soapbox. But I just want to say, like, to everybody who, is doing this, man, I feel a connection to you. So even if you ever feel like you don't have a connection to anybody around you because people don't understand what you're doing, just know that you got VA. VA is connected to you. You think about it, like when I grew up, like I said, I'm originally from New Jersey, moved to Virginia when I was in my second year of high school. In neither environment was anybody talking about growing anything. You know what I mean? I don't know any of my old schoolmates or people that I came up with that's doing this. I have an uncle who's not much older than I am, chocolate vegan. He's out in Arizona. He's got his channel. He's doing it. He's getting his homestead. But as far as like the people in my classes and my grades and stuff like that, nobody's doing it. You got people who are, their whole life is that hamster wheel that they're on. So yeah, you feel different. You feel different. But just know that there are people who can relate to you. And there's people that are connected to you, and there's people that love you. So anyway, I'm gone. I'm gonna keep watering in the evening like I'm not supposed to be. And I'll catch you all later. Peace.